I am currently seated in the living room of one of our latest beautiful projects in Kisumu. Like many of our projects, this house was complete. So for this 5-bedroom, all-in-suite mansion, we are focusing on dynamic lighting, finishing and furnishing, high-quality materials, and the creation of leisure and recreational areas. So right from the entrance, the main doorway, you can see how we were able to introduce those high quality materials in this mahogany hardwood. And you'll see that represented throughout all the other openings in the house. For instance, right here with this paneling, this leads into the dining and kitchen area. We'll go that in a moment, but now let's take a look at this beautiful living room. Obviously here we have a double volume living room, which can be quite challenging in coming up with creative ways of utilizing that space so it doesn't look so blank. When we first came here, that was blank, but you can see how fine urban construction and interiors has used wainscoting in a very delicate way. So it's not too plain and it's not too busy. And you can see here on the TV wall, we've added a console that's inbuilt to the wall, just keeping things really simple and making sure everything has its place. And of course, we've included a fireplace just so our client is able to regulate the temperature. As I stand in the center of the room and my eye looks up, I am looking at a very beautiful, simple gypsum design, which is something that we were very intentional to do throughout the house, finished off with a fantastic chandelier. And of course, I cannot ignore the seats in this room. We, as always, have customized the seats, made sure that the fabric is absolutely beautiful and durable as always, and injected that pop of color with the 2 armchairs just to liven up the space. Now we're going to go through the paneling that I talked about before, and I'm now standing in the dining area. It is quite a large area. We've gone with the same type of tile. The gypsum has also been kept very simple. These are the final stages of the project, so we're not done yet. So you can see here we haven't chosen a chandelier to finish that off, but you can see that we've used a lot of down lighting. We have cove lighting, and in this area we have a very big bare wall. This, as you can see, is where we're going to have a sink for people to be able to wash their hands as they're using the dining room. And that will also add another classic fine urban construction and interiors touch, which is a broken mirror design. This kitchen is so well done, but the most important thing, apart from how good your kitchen looks, is how much storage you actually have. So this is not the biggest kitchen that we've ever worked on, but we made sure that in terms of storage, we were very keen to give the client as much as they would need. So you can see that represented here. We have the higher levels of the cabinetry. We have drawers here. You can put in your knives and spoons. We have even more cabinetry down here. So all throughout as we're walking, you can see that well represented. And even on this island, we have more room for storage. Of course, we've gone and added in all the fittings so that the client just has to move in. You can see here, we have a full range. We have our coffee maker. We have an inbuilt space for our microwave. And of course, I'm not going to ignore the fact that we also have introduced that beautiful lighting into the dining area just to make sure that everything is working well together. Now, as I'm walking into the pantry, I am also walking past a dishwasher, which is just something that every modern house should have in their kitchen. And we were able to also introduce that into this kitchen, despite the space being small. Now I am in the pantry. We've introduced bigger type of storage. So if you have a big old bag of rice, this is where you come and store that away. It's well lit, it's well done. As always, we do not leave any stones unturned. So from here, there's a wall right in this area. So we have another door here, which is a private storage area. And right next to it, we have this feature. This was also a very clever way of fine urban construction interiors, blocking off an elevator shaft. The client was very particular about being like, they don't really need an elevation in the house, and they really wanted us to come up with a design to cover that area. And that's exactly what we've done by creating something that will still make this house really and truly feel like a home. As I head this way, I am now looking at the stairs, but right next to that, very close to the living room, we have our common bathroom. It is a large room. In this particular space, I just want to focus on the tiles, the nice and big and bright tiles with a bit of texture. And most importantly, we've made sure to include a sink. So now we are ready to go to the next level of this house. Again, this is where the tile really shines, how it moves from that chevron-like pattern to this really deep, dark wood. It just livens up the space and creates something quite unique. And as we go up, we've been able to place wainscoting just so that the walls are not so bad. For instance, right here, it's a really nice, simple way of adding a bit more character into your home. I just have to take a moment and really appreciate how this small space has been completely transformed. I talked about how downstairs we had the elevator, but of course, on each floor there was an opening. On this floor, this was the section. We had to come up with yet another interesting way to fill up this space, and Fine Urban Construction Interiors does not like when things feel so repetitive. So here you can see again how we've utilized wainscoting to play a sort of frame for these beautiful wall hangings. It's just another touch that adds those pops of colors and textures and something that's so visually interesting. But speaking of things that are visually interesting, I think once you get here is when you really truly get to appreciate the beauty of this entire view. You get to have that feel of that double volume. You get a closer look at the chandelier and the gypsum design, and you get to look down and see how well arranged the living room is. From here, I want to take a look at one of the first bedrooms, just so you guys have a better understanding of just how unique and challenging this house has been. When I first walked in, I was honestly gobsmacked by how small the rooms were, and I knew that would present a challenge because, as always, we like to include cabinetry, and as I mentioned, all the rooms are en suite, so they all have a bathroom, and that just means more doors. So this particular room had a big challenge in terms of doors because we don't want anything that's going to take away from a space that's already small. This door swung on the inside, causing a problem for the layout. As you can see, even now, when you're looking at it, it looks like things are very close to each other, but we created a solution by the inclusion of a sliding doors. We'll add in the glass later, so that we completely eliminated that problem. And also you can see for the cabinetry, we've done the exact same thing. So even though we couldn't change the room and its dimensions, we made sure that we still added things that were going to improve the functionality of the room. Now, the next room is a bit bigger. I have to say this would be my room in the house. When you walk in, you have your cabinetry leading into the bathroom. All the tiling in the bathroom is consistent, it's simple. There's something quite striking about that chrome, and also the inclusion of having this, what you call the mobile shower where you can hold it and has a bit of a vintage touch. So I think that's just quite so unique. And you can see we've also thought about where the client will be able to place their soaps. So the bathrooms are all very excellently done. Walking out, we have this cabinetry, which I think was just a very smart use of that space. And then we can walk into the rest of the room. Immediately, you can see this feature that we also saw in the living room. This can come with its own challenges, but the way Fine Urban is going to work in terms of furniture, we will include a bed and have that as a nook where we can have like a seat where you can sit and relax and look to the outside. We cannot just buy curtain rods that will fit that space, so Fine Urban Construction Interiors is fabricating all the curtain rods for this property just because we have areas like this. On the side, we've also included more cabinetry. For the gypsum, we've also kept it very simple, gone with really effective lighting that are very unique. Now, the next space is something that I feel every home needs in 2022 going forward, and that is the family room. I have to appreciate the inclusion of storage, not only for the things that you might need in your TV room ordinarily, but when you look over at the side, we have display cases as well. And as you walk further, we also have more storage just in case the client has other things that they may want to store in the house and don't want to fill up the rooms with them. They have extra space here and they can come and put that away. As I'm looking up and walking through this room, it's another space where we've kept the gypsum very simple, but have been very creative with in terms of the type of lighting that we've chosen to use. Although it is recessed lights and cove lights, it's how you use them within the gypsum that really makes something feel so unique. And I cannot walk past a good wall hanging, expect to see pieces like this throughout the house because it's another creative way of just bringing a bit more life to your walls. So now we can head over to the next space. But as we walk out, we have a bathroom so that when nature calls, you don't even have to leave the space. All the fittings have been carefully considered in each and every space. Let's head up yet another flight of stairs. And when I talk about consistency, this is what I mean. All the steps have been maintained with the same type of tile. And again, as we approach the top, you can see yet another inclusion of wainscoting that just makes the walking experience throughout the entire house so appeasing because you're able to notice things that just make sense as you go throughout. Now over here, we're gonna take a look at another bedroom. This room is like a twin room to the one we just saw downstairs. They're the exact same dimensions, so we have utilized the same things in terms of redesigning this room. And overall, I think it's been a great improvement. On to the next room. So on this floor, we have 3 bedrooms. That was the first one. This is the second one. For this room, it also has its own little unique quirk, and that is represented by having a very small nook in the corner. I am so curious to see what we do with that space. If you want to see that, guys, make sure that you're following us for the final reveal so you can see once this project is completed. But for this room, we've also kept it very simple. Of course, we've made sure to also include cabinetry, but that's not all. Obviously, this is one of the first bedrooms that we walked into that actually has a balcony. It has a really nice vantage point where you could just come outside and have a really beautiful view of the front yard. And as I'm standing here, I'm looking over and I'm seeing under the balcony. So it's only right for us to walk over, but also it is quite hot in Kisumu right now. So I appreciate the fact that I can see that we're working on having a bit of shade so these balconies can fully be utilized. So let's head over to the next room and have a better experience of that balcony. Wow, this is the master bedroom. And if you know anything about me, I do enjoy a good master bedroom. One of the first things that we noted when we came in is the fact that this room had 2 bathrooms. One of them was right over here, right in this space. And the other one was right over here. It did not make any sense at all to have 2 bathrooms, so we communicated that to the client and they 100% agreed. So we've gone ahead and completely redone this bathroom with the beautiful tiling. I love the inclusion of a bidet. I always think that is like the height of luxurious bathrooms, is having a bidet. We have a really beautiful, well thought out, perfect size for this bathroom, his and her sink. As I've said, we are in the final stages, but we're not finished yet. Don't worry, we will be adding in the actual taps very soon. And you can see here, we also have included the toilet bowl, but obviously there's something really big missing. This being a bathroom, where will people actually take their showers and their baths. So this area is what is going to serve that entire purpose, and we will include jacuzzi or a big tub, just something that would really fit the space and serve the client. This was yet another nook, and we have come in and put in this cabinetry and created yet another walk-in section. As always, we've done different types of storage so that the client has the space to store all their other things. And now let's look at the main walk-in area. This space has now been completely transformed into a fully functional, fully fitted walk-in closet with the inclusion of these. This is where you come and hang your jackets, your suits, your skirts, your dresses. It just gives you the opportunity to really plan out your space and just have a neater area overall. Of course, with that, we have chosen spotlights for this because the different types of lighting for different spaces really need to make sense. And for a walk-in, having spotlights really does make sense. And now we can go back to the main area of the master bedroom. Here, you can see we've played around a little bit with the gypsum design because we didn't want to include anything that was too busy. And of course, I cannot ignore the fact that this room as well has a balcony of its own. So as we continue the tour through the house, I have to keep pointing out how sparingly we've chosen to use the wainscoting throughout the entire house. You've seen it on the stairs, but we have to continue it. And you can see here, we've gone with a nice simple design, again, creating frames. But we have yet more stairs to go up into the final floor. We have now arrived at the rooftop, and boy, oh boy, do I have to say, Kisumu is quite sunny today. But you can see we've already thought of that and created allocations for somewhere we're going to put a see-through shade. So instead of using something like glass, we will be using perspex, and that's exactly what was used right in this area to cover up those balconies. I talked about leisure and recreational areas. We're going to have a small gym area in this section. You can also see that it was so well considered, and a bathroom was actually put up here, so you don't have to go downstairs if you need to use the bathroom. You could have your weights here, maybe a treadmill. It's not the biggest space, but it will be a gym area. We've included this faux grass, makes it feel more of an indoor-outdoor space. A swing seat here with shade for you to really relax. Not for you, for the client to really relax. And then over here, you can see we have multiple very comfortable seats. I have to point out the fact that these are very cushioned seats. So you can tell that this is an area that we want the client to really come and enjoy. We have a big table, 8-seater, so they can come up here and really enjoy and relax. But that is accompanied by this section right over here. We are transforming the section into a small bar area. So you prep your drinks, you have them all stored here. You get your glass and head on over, have a seat with the rest of your friends or family, and just overall enjoy your rooftop. This was bad when we first came here, and now we've been able to make it multifunctional. As you may all know, Fine Urban Construction and Interiors is a multifaceted company, so no project of ours is complete until we have also touched the exterior. I'm talking about the landscaping, which we will be doing for this particular property. We have a gazebo there that we've already completed, so we're gonna kit that out with the proper furniture and just figure out the layout. But the face of the house is also as important as the interior. So we've made sure that the introduction into the front door has these two beautifully molded pillars. So obviously there's an elephant in the room. On my right, we have a different structure. That is the staff quarters. We will be showing you that in the final reveal, but for now, our client was kind enough to allow our staff to live there as they're working on the house. So with that walkthrough, I hope you guys were able to get a great understanding of how we were able to implement the things that I talked about from the start. And with that said, this is not the final product. We will be shooting a final reveal, but if you think this house is beautiful now, it's gonna be even better when we're done. So if you wanna be a part of this journey, make sure that you like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that good stuff. But the most important thing is that you turn on that notification bell so you are amongst the first people to enjoy the video once it comes out. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.